Imagine a crisp autumn morning. The air is sharp enough to sting your lungs, and the campus of Oak Ridge University is just waking up. For most people, it is the start of another week of midterms and early lectures. But on this morning, the quiet rhythm of academic life is about to be permanently broken. It is exactly 7:30 a.m. when a graduate assistant unlocks the heavy oak doors of the Botanical Sciences building. He is carrying a travel mug of coffee, expecting a quiet day of cataloging plant specimens. But as he steps into the office of the department chair, his coffee hits the floor. Lying on the carpet is Dr. Sylvia Thorne. She is cold to the touch, and over her head is a thick plastic specimen bag.
Dr. Thorne was a brilliant 42-year-old botanist, a tenured professor, and a pioneer in agricultural biodefense. Now she was a homicide victim. Detective Neil Hatcher of the Oak Ridge Police Department was one of the first on the scene. He later recalled that when you walk into a scene like that, you are looking for a story, and this office was screaming at the investigators. Papers were flung across the floor, desk drawers were ripped open, and her computer tower had been completely gutted. The killer didn't just want her dead, they wanted her data. Her hard drive was completely gone. The medical examiner estimated she had died the night before, somewhere between 10 p.m. and midnight. There were defensive wounds on her hands, indicating a brief, desperate struggle, but the killer had been meticulous. No fingerprints, no forced entry. It was someone who knew exactly how to get into that building. So who wanted Dr. Thorne dead? The first name on the detective's list was a graduate student named Leo Kim. He was brilliant, but he had a reputation for a volatile temper. Just 48 hours earlier, Dr. Thorne had officially rejected his doctoral thesis, a move that effectively killed his academic career.
Detective Hatcher and his team pulled up their email correspondence, which paint a toxic picture. Kim felt she was stealing his ideas to claim the millions of dollars in commercial patents for herself. He had a key to the building, he had the anger, and he was the prime suspect. But when investigators brought Kim into the interrogation room, his story held up. Electronic logs showed his keycard checked out of the building at 6 p.m. Surveillance footage from a gas station 3 hours away proved he was nowhere near the campus when the murder took place. The primary lead had evaporated, so detectives turned their gaze from Dr. Thorne's professional life to her private one, and that is where things got complicated.
Sylvia Thorne had recently finalized a bitter, high-profile divorce from her husband, Charles Thorne. It was far from amicable. Charles was facing a massive court-ordered restructuring of his alimony payments, a financial blow that was about to cost him his luxury suburban estate. Detective Hatcher noted that Charles Thorne had everything to gain. If Sylvia was out of the picture, the litigation stopped, and he kept his house. But when detectives brought him in, he had an incredibly smug composure. He knew they had nothing.
And on paper, he was right. Charles claimed he had spent the night of the murder completely alone at his estate, 25 miles away, and his home security system backed him up. The digital logs showed the house's perimeter alarms were armed at 9 p.m. and were not disarmed until the next morning.
There were no witnesses, no cameras in the under-construction science wing, and no digital footprint. For the detectives, the trail was cold, but where human eyes had failed, nature was about to step in. To find the invisible, the police called in a specialist. They vacuumed the carpet fibers of Dr. Thorne's office using a specialized HEPA filter. The dust was sent to Dr. Miriam Geller, a leading forensic palynologist. If you are wondering what a palynologist does, they study pollen. And as Dr. Geller explains, pollen is essentially nature's ultimate tracker. It has an outer shell made of sporopollenin, which is one of the most indestructible organic materials on Earth. It can survive for thousands of years. Because every plant species has a unique microscopic shape, stepping on soil means taking a geographical passport with you on your shoes. Dr. Geller placed the dust from Dr. Thorne's carpet under a scanning electron microscope. Amidst the ordinary indoor dust, she found something that absolutely did not belong: a tiny triangular pollen grain. She identified it as Taxus baccata, the English yew. It is an evergreen shrub, highly toxic and incredibly rare in this part of the country. There was not a single English yew on the university campus, nor were there any in the public parks of Oak Ridge. It was an anomaly. So Dr. Geller asked the detectives a critical question. Did anyone associated with the victim have this plant on their property? When Detective Hatcher heard the words English U, he immediately knew where to go. He drove straight to Charles Thorne's estate, and there, lining the entire driveway like a living wall, was a row of imported mature English yew shrubs. But a theory is not a conviction. They needed a physical link. With a freshly signed warrant, technicians vacuumed the floorboards and the rubber accelerator pedal of Charles Thorne's luxury sedan. They sent the sample straight to Dr. Geller's lab. When she looked at the sample from the car pedal, it was packed with the same Taxus baccata pollen, but the smoking gun was a microscopic fungal spore. The yew trees at Charles Thorne's estate suffered from a very specific, localized fungal blight. That exact same contaminated pollen was found on the carpet right next to where Dr. Thorne's body was discovered. There was absolutely no other way it could have gotten there. He had carried it in on his shoes.
The microscopic evidence completely shattered Charles's alibi. When cyber forensic experts re-examined his home security system, they found he had programmed a deliberate bypass on a single basement window. He had armed the system, slipped out the window, driven to the campus to steal the research, and killed his ex-wife when she caught him. He thought he had covered his tracks. He thought wiping his digital files and wearing gloves made him invisible. But he had forgotten the ground beneath his feet.
Charles Thorne was convicted of first-degree murder and is currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. It is a chilling reminder that we are always leaving a trace of where we have been. Even the most carefully planned crimes can be unraveled by the quietest witnesses in the room. In this case, a single grain of pollen from a toxic tree.